your normal host, and I am with a new host today. Do you want to introduce yourself, Noah?
Hi, I'm WSRX or Noah Clark. I am a commentator for Worldwide Sim Racing, a PS4 F1 league, and I'm also a very avid F1 fan. So glad to be with you all and happy to be discussing Formula One with all of you.
Okay, so we'll begin talking about the German Grand Prix. We're not doing Britain because I can't remember for the life of me. If I'm not mistaken, it was Max Verstappen who won again, and Hamilton and Bottas had a horrible time with it.
Which was it? Sorry, hold on. Repeat that. Sorry.
The German Grand Prix.
Take the lead.
The German Grand Prix. We had Max Verstappen win. We had. Was it Vettel second?
Sebastian Vettel. It was Vettel second, and then Kvyat finished third.
Yes. So will we go team by team, or do you want to begin anywhere in particular?
Well, I think overall the race, I mean, if you didn't watch it, watching at home, then go to the race highlights, find some pirated version of it on YouTube. I'm sure it exists in some capacity, and go watch it, because I think in the turbo era, at least, best turbo race ever, and that's saying a lot because, you know, we had the Bahrain battles with Hamilton and Rosberg. We had the I mean, even this year with Bahrain was extremely good, and we've had Brazil 2016, which I was also like is up there and probably the second best one. But yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, I mean, it was good. I think the thing that detracted a little bit from Germany, I think, versus Brazil is that there were a lot of great incidents and there was some good racing, but I think generally Brazil still had more actual racing versus just crashes and incidents and off and safety cars. And I like incident-filled races. I mean, that's Azerbaijan, at least before this year. The last two races were quite good. Yeah. But I don't like just safety car after safety car, but there's not actually racing.
Yeah, exactly.
But, no, I mean, it was a great race. My highlight of it was Sebastian Vettel. I mean, you started from the back of the grid, came up to P2. You know, if you wanted to doubt... But if you want to doubt Sebastian Vettel, and there's a lot of doubters out there because of his somewhat poor performances as of recently, then you just have to look at that race because it was just fantastic for him, and that goes to show just how good Sebastian Vettel is of a driver. I mean, everybody says, oh, well, he's lost, and like, this is still a four-time world champion. You know, this is still probably one of the greatest drivers in our modern generation. Yeah. And gonna go down as one of the greatest drivers in F1 history. You know, say what you will about the Red Bull years, but, you know, still beat Mark Webber, who was a very good second teammate. Overall, though, I think it was a very good race by him. That was my highlight of it.
Absolutely.
And we'll go over the details.
Absolutely. Then we begin to talk about, well, I suppose Hamilton and Bottas had an absolute shambles of a race. But Hamilton having an incident at the pit lane, first of all, and also nearly hitting a wall that I think Valtteri hit the lap prior. Speaking of safety cars, anyway, so Hamilton broke part of his wing, which I can actually show, the little prong thing on the front of the number, as you can see on my screen at the moment, as I'm currently trying to keep pace with a safety car in third-person camera to show exactly what he broke. As he broke that, went down the order after having a shambolic pit stop of about, I can't remember the exact time.
It was terrible.
It was about
absolutely awful pit stop.
It was nearly a minute, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think they called him in, though. I think he just decided, oh, I'm near it, I'll just go in and pit.
Yeah, and he also got a penalty as well for it after that. which obviously won't help things at all. And well, it was just a very weird race, I think, is a fair thing to say, is a fair assumption. It wasn't necessarily expected. The only thing that was expected out of that race was maybe a Verstappen win, because he won one of the previous two, which he won in Austria. He came fourth in Britain. Actually, no, he didn't come fourth because he had that a penalty for crashing into Vettel. Or was it Vettel?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't really expect him to win because, I mean, the Germany track is a lot of straight lines and whatnot, and the Red Bull, I mean, the Honda engine still isn't like up to par with the Mercedes and the Ferrari in terms of straight line speed. So I would disagree. I don't think Verstappen was bound to win that. He's a great rain driver, but you're still only as good as how much your car can actually do for you. And I just didn't think that was going to be a track that suited them. But you know, he still did a great job, obviously. And yeah, I mean, it was, I think the problem was too, I don't think Mercedes didn't have the pace. They definitely had the pace.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I just think that, yeah, I mean, first off, the pit stop was terrible. That's not really Mercedes' fault. I think that's Lewis Hamilton's fault in general for even trying to come into the pits. Now, what was he going to do with such a terrible shamble of a wing? He sees the pit there. He's just going to go and do it. But, you know, I think that the Mercedes team got caught off guard, so... And then the Bottas thing was just his mistake. It was just a complete loss. It's hard. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away. That line, the dry line on the racing line was extremely thin. And the aquaplaning on these cars will just completely ruin you. I mean, it has pretty much always ruined you. But
Brazil,
I can understand it being thin. But, yeah, exactly. Brazil, I mean, I think it was Grosjean in 2016 that lost on the first lap.
Yeah, it was also Raikkonen, I think, during the race at some point. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Raikkonen.
He on the straight.
Yeah, which caused the red flag, if I'm not mistaken. What a lot of red flags.
No, it did. Yep, it did start the red flag. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember now. But yeah, no, I mean, it was definitely a bad race for them, but not a bad performance race. I don't think Mercedes truly was ever outperformed. I think they really did themselves in with a bunch of poor decisions after the race. And yeah, it was a bad race. And it doesn't help the fact that that was their home race. This is supposed to cement the German Grand Prix, and for them to be a title sponsor and then to have a complete mockery of a race, I think definitely ruined the chances of us having that race back again, which stinks. I mean, I understand that probably wasn't going to happen next year anyway, because that German Grand Prix was operating on a loss.
Yeah.
Just because of how much money it would cost, but it still stinks, and I think with such a bad showing from them, it's definitely going to hamper the chances of us having a German Grand Prix for a really long time.
Yeah. So, moving on to Alfa Romeo. Hamilton actually increased his gap in the championship that weekend, because Alfa were handed two 30-second penalties, if I'm not mistaken, for doing something.
Both got 30 seconds.
Yeah, for doing something illegal. I think it was something to do with the handbrake. If I'm not mistaken.
Something to do with the clutch. There was a video on it that I believe Autosport did. I didn't watch it, but apparently it had something to do with what was basically artificial traction control.
Yeah.
That's what I got from it. But yeah, it's weird. I mean, and it apparently only saved them a couple milliseconds or whatever, but in the rain that gets multiplied. So that's what apparently they just had much better starts, and you could see it because Raikkonen had a fantastic start in the race.
Yeah, definitely.
Which was awesome, but you can't do that. And I understand some people are gonna say, oh, they're doing too much rules. They should just let them drive. It's like, well, you can't have race-affecting results like that if what they did was true. And maybe it was a mistake, maybe it wasn't a mistake, maybe they thought they were in the rules and they apparently were not. Nevertheless, you can't do stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a difference between an incident with, like, a tiny bit of a crash, and then there's breaking the rules regarding the actual cars. There's a very big line on where it's racing and where it's just breaking rules for the sake of breaking rules. That's
exactly
you're not allowed to do. Then there is but it was also the first time I believe we saw a race that wasn't originally behind the car at the beginning, because
safety car.
Yeah, because I think they done 3 laps under it.
I don't think it was 3. I think it was like 5 or something, because I remember they were complaining over the radio saying, what are we doing? Hamilton's like, it's already dry now, like, let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was a lot of laps they did it under, and I was surprised because they came, like, I forgot who the current FIA F1 director is. I know he did WEC before that. But he even said, oh yeah, it was an easy decision. It's like, so why did it take 5 or 7 laps or whatever it was to do that? But yeah, I mean, it was good to see that, because and I think that is a response in some ways to how the FIA has been treating races, because after that terrible, borderline terrible call with Sebastian Vettel at Canada, it seems like the moral ways that they go about doing their decisions about how we penalize and don't penalize and how we call things has changed drastically since then, probably in response to that.
Yeah, 100%. And also Kvyat getting a podium in a Toro Rosso. Considering Gasly hasn't got a podium yet, and a Toro Rosso in the junior car does, I think that says a lot about why he was dropped, in my opinion. Because if a Toro Rosso is able to get a podium in comparison to him in a Red Bull, it's absolutely ridiculous. If
I mean,
in the grand scheme of
again,
things,
though,
it is for.
But I don't think that Germany is a good performance measure for any of the cars because of how ridiculous the situation was being. So
of course, but it isn't great from like a PR point of view. That I get it, that it isn't easy to compare the cars at that track because of the conditions and exactly what's after happening at that track on that weekend. It's a bit mad, though, to be fair. Like, I'm trying to phrase it, but I just really can't at the moment. I have no idea what's going on with me at the moment. But it's quite interesting that it's an odd thing to occur, really, as I'm trying to say, but I somewhat can't. But anyway, I think that really sums up Germany as a whole, if I'm not mistaken, other than it being an absolute mental race that you just have to go back and watch.
Yeah, I also want to mention Hülkenberg because
I
was really rooting for him to do really good in this race, and then for it to just all fall away from him was really sad to me.
Yeah. Very sad.
And it was I was rewatching a scene from Drive to Survive. If you haven't watched it on Netflix, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I have.
It's the F1 documentary. I believe it's Cyril Abiteboul or something very similar to that. He said that having a driver like Hülkenberg not on the podium is a disgrace. And it is, because this is, I'm not saying championship material for Hülkenberg, but
No.
definitely a driver who is capable of winning races, capable of getting podiums consistently, and it just really stinks to see that happen to him.
Yeah.
Because he should be on the top step. He's one of my favorite drivers. Not only if you haven't listened to it, I listened to the Beyond the Grid podcast that they do with the drivers, and I listened to Nico's. Nico's a really interesting guy, besides just being a great racer as well.
Yeah, 100%. Then I suppose a podium for him should have either happened there or it should have happened in Spa back in 2016, because he had third for the longest amount of time until I think it was Hamilton overtook him. Which is
I don't remember the specifics of that.
Yeah, I watched the 2016 season back quite recently, so it's kind of fresh in my head at the moment. But
oh, okay, yeah, I don't have the resources for that. They don't have that kind of stuff in America, and I'm not subscribing to F1 TV's maniacal.
Yeah. There's a YouTube channel for it that doesn't get flagged. It's free. I'll link it afterwards.
All right, sounds good.
But anyway, moving on. Other than, please FIA, don't sue me now. Anyway,
yeah, you're ruining it.
So I think that really completes Germany as a whole, which was an amazing race, one of
and a needed race too after what has been abysmal races in the beginning of the season.
Well, Austria was good.
Austria was good, yes. I'm not saying that it was bad, but it was still needed as well, and a rain race was also just needed in general.
I think we're expecting to get rain around there though, but considering it's happened 2 years in a row now. So please.
Yeah, but still, like, we didn't have it anywhere else.
Yeah. So
they
please.
Teased us at Monaco again.
For God I knows how many times.
Guys, we're going to have 100% rain for sure in Monaco. Never happens. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Every year, Monaco, rain.
I love rain around Monaco.
I'm going to be when they say lawyers are liars, no. Meteorologists are liars. Meteorologists make more money than anybody else for lying half of the year, and they always do it when it's Monaco time.
Yeah. Moving on to Hungary, I guess then. The race that was literally completed there quite recently. I suppose what we could really talk about, I suppose, is Hamilton. What a strategy.
I mean, it was... I mean, I'll be honest with you. I knew from the moment that he made that pit stop that it was going to work. I know a lot of people doubted that. But I was like, there's no way Verstappen's going to have the pace to get to the end of the race as quickly as he has been with those hard with those hard compound tires just dying. Because they're bad enough as it is.
Ooh.
But not to be really bad. Oh, boy. Thank you.
But yeah, talking about it anyway, as you were again, sorry about that.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it was like ooh, but yeah, it was good. I mean, I thought it was a good race because it was just a classic race. It had the strategy, it had the drama moments, it had some fantastic racing. I mean, the Toro Rosso battle is one of the best side-by-side battles I've seen in a really long time. And it was fair because, you know, some people say, oh, well, he was really dirty with, Kvyat was really dirty with Albon. No, I just think that's, you know, that's an issue with taking that line through there and trying to battle there.
Yeah.
Either way, though, yeah, awesome race. The strategy was fantastic for sure.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible.
for not taking anything. Verstappen didn't do anything wrong. No. It was still a fantastic race from him, and definitely deserved to be a winner there. It was just a strategy call from Mercedes that was right on point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, and I think this talks about one of the problems. I forgot who it was talking about it, but one of the things that F1 needs to get rid of. Oh boy.
One-stop races.
One of the things need to, not that, just get rid of the amount of technology that's telling them this is how it's going to be able to work.
Yeah.
Because if we're talking about the 2000s, before all this stuff was around.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Marshmallow tires, melted marshmallow tires. If we were talking about that, the truth of the matter is that probably wouldn't have happened as easily as it did. But because of all these computers, the computers are literally telling you, okay, this is exactly what's probably going to happen. And I don't know. I feel like that's so artificial. I mean, I know that that's just F1 now. But, you know, that's one of the things that they have to change going into the new regulations is decrease this amount of... I know who it was. It was Shane Bear. Shane Bear said this. He said that it had to be... You had to kill the amount of...
info you have.
Just fake. It's fake because they know so much, and it's cool. I mean, it's the pinnacle of motorsport. I'm not saying they shouldn't know all this stuff, but it's still just kind of it's just so artificial, and it doesn't feel as real when they used to be making these decisions just based on racing knowledge. Now it's not racing knowledge. Now it's just computer knowledge.
Yeah.
But it's still, I mean, it's a great strategy, and you can't have a great the computers will only tell you what's possible. It doesn't tell you what's possible between the drivers, and Hamilton raced basically qualifying laps from there to end. I mean, it was fantastic, and
what a drive!
It was a drive. I mean, I don't think he won driver of the day.
No,
I think Max did.
Yeah,
because of course he did.
It's always Max, Leclerc, or who's the other one?
Or Kubica.
Or Kubica, actually, to be fair.
I think what happened. I forgot which race.
Giving him driver. I think it was Austria. I think it was more of a pity point, if anything.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Let's give him driver of the day. Probably feels crap now. Because before that was the only accolade that they had, was that.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we forgot to mention that in Germany that they finally scored a point because of the Alfa Romeo penalties moved Kubica into the points. So Williams now has 1 point.
I didn't actually know that. Didn't I?
Yep. Kubica was just outside the points, but because of the Alfa Romeos going down the order, it actually moved Kubica into the points. So they finally scored a point.
I'm going to go back to Germany and just confirm that really quick. Try again. I don't know. Oh, I'm going to have to restart my phone. Never mind. So it was actually incredible, though, to see the strategy work as well as it did around that was
terrible.
Around Hungary as a track, but I suppose now at the moment we're just trying to see what exactly is going to happen from here on out. Sorry, that was my phone. But
what the like a bootleg Windows startup?
Yeah, more or less.
All right.
I think it's actually Huawei with Vodafone, but you know, shameless plugging my phone, but you know, it was absolutely incredible, and I think after that, I think it's after confirming after the few races from Austria were on that were actually interesting because it wasn't just Merck winning one after one. It actually, I think, confirms that Max and Lewis are probably the two greatest drivers on the grid at the moment, and I don't think there's much argument for it.
And to be fair, I also want to point out that that track was definitely suited for the Red Bull.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Just generally, I mean, the Red Bull's always going to have better cars on tight on tight tracks, just because the length of the cars and so long, the chassis is just better in general because of that.
Yeah.
I think eventually though they're going to have to change the design philosophy of the car if they want to be overall better. Unless the Honda engine gets really, really good. But I think that philosophy of having a shorter car and just being better on tight tracks is not going to help them always in the long run. So I think eventually that will change, but I don't think that's going to change with Newey at the helm of the aerodynamic department, which, to be fair,
he's incredible.
This is probably, I wouldn't say he's the greatest aerodynamicist ever, but he's definitely up there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I think Gordon Murray's the best, but you know, that's just me.
Arguments for a different day, I suppose. Everybody has their opinion on it. It's a very close argument. I don't think there's much arguing it. Every answer there is, the two of those answers are probably equally as correct. So moving on to, is that everything for Hungary?
Yeah, I mean, the Albon fight, the strategy, I don't think there was too much going on other than that.
Like, we want to try and keep these quick so we can talk more about the mid-season.
The teams.
Yeah. But an interesting thing to me about... okay, so moving on to the mid-season, well... Just after the race, it was quoted by Toto Wolff that apparently now he's looking at Bottas and Ocon to see who will be Lewis Hamilton's teammate next season. Who do you think will be?
I just watched a video on this by Autosport, and
as did I.
I think it reconfirmed what I thought.
Ocon?
It is no.
Oh.
Because what the least thing Mercedes needs right now is another Rosberg Hamilton situation. That's the least thing they want, and that's not going to happen with Bottas, because I don't think Bottas is. I mean, Bottas is good, but I don't think he's ever going to really fight for a championship.
Yeah,
we've seen a different Bottas this year, but it's not Lewis Hamilton, and it's never going to be Lewis Hamilton. Well, and I think that's generally just because of the type of. But that is because of the type of driver Bottas is. Generally, is a really fast driver, but he's not a good racecraft driver. Hamilton's both that. And again, I think he has... I hate to say this, but he's too nice. He doesn't have a ruthless mentality.
Yes, exactly.
You know, he gives you space, you know, but he doesn't push you off the track or anything like that. Again, we've seen more of that this year, but not a huge amount of it.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm not saying Ocon is not good. Ocon is a fantastic driver, but I think he's too fantastic. You know, when Hamilton's gone, and there's a good chance that he could be gone if in the next 2 years, especially if he doesn't win a championship this year. I'm not saying he'll quit this year, but he will. But let's just say he didn't. I wouldn't say he quit, but he would definitely set his sights on other things in the near future, because I feel like Hamilton's really only going to run as long as he's successful.
I think his ego is going to allow him to keep on going until he beats Schumacher's record. I think he's going to beat that, then move on. Because I don't think anybody's going to come close to him over the next few years. The only person that can come close to him at the moment, I think, is Leclerc and Verstappen. But Verstappen at the moment, in a Red Bull, I don't think that's going to happen.
No. But... why am I blanking? What were we just talking about?
Ocon and Bottas.
Ocon, yeah. So Ocon, I love Ocon. I mean, he was one of my favorite drivers while he was going on, and I would have told you prior to 19 that Ocon was a shoo-in. I didn't think Bottas was really going to be that different of a driver, but he has really changed. And taking away from the last two races, which have been abysmal for him, he has been extremely quick in qualifying. And he has shown great races, and he's won races. So I don't think the thing is, Ocon's going to be, as Autosport said, a short-term pain, long-term better. But I don't think that long term is now. I think that long term is once Hamilton's starting to ease off from being the top driver. Now, yeah. I totally understand that Ocon doesn't really want to wait that long. That he probably would rather like to eventually get into
a quick car,
a race seat quite soon. So he probably will shop for other teams, and that's fine. I just don't see them jumping to Ocon that quick because he is great, but is he really what Mercedes wants again? Because that, I mean, essentially you'd be asking for a Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton rivalry again, because I think that's just going to happen. Because Ocon hasn't been the best teammate ever. I mean, I'm not saying that Sergio Perez was like all angels. Like, he definitely had some moments himself, but
I think that was still just Ocon maturing as a driver, though. I don't think that will like carry on for that much longer. Like, there's been some stupid mistakes. Fair enough, he fights his teammate, but fair enough. Like, that's about it. But like, I think the crashes exactly weren't necessarily his fault. It was just him maturing as a very young driver. We've seen that with a lot of drivers. We've seen that with Max even, and look where he is now.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think a midfield team is fine of having their teammates battle a little bit more, but a top team like Mercedes doesn't want that. You almost, I mean, when we saw Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel battling in Bahrain, that's rare. I haven't seen the Ferraris battle in a really long time. The overtakes are easy. They usually never really challenge all that much, so I was surprised when that happened.
Yeah.
And that Mercedes is the same way. They don't want that kind of stuff. They've been letting it go a little bit more, but generally speaking, a top team doesn't want their teammates battling with each other. They want easy overtakes. If one's faster than the other, just let them by, move on, score points. And Ocon's not going to be like that. He's going to have it. He has a different temperament, which is fine. I'm not saying that's a bad temperament to have. But I don't feel like Mercedes is the type of team that would like let that fly like for a while.
Yeah.
But I mean, who am I to say? I mean, I would say that it might likely be Ocon, but I think Bottas would be the better pick. I don't know. It's tough because they both have great traits. But if you're thinking long term, then it's probably Ocon. Short term, it's probably Bottas. But I don't think Bottas is championship material. So.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Mercedes wants eventually, is another driver to be championship material, and that you're going to get that in Ocon. Ocon can win a world championship in that Mercedes. I think he has the raw pace.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, what do you think?
For me, honestly, I think I'd rather see Ocon more for the reason that I want to see a bit of fighting. I was a big fan of Rosberg and Hamilton. I just enjoyed watching it. It's very entertaining racing, but I get it's not exactly what Merc wants. That's the part I get, and it's kind of upsetting to say that. I think they will go with Bottas, and I think Ocon will probably get the seat in 2021.
Yeah.
For the entirety of the new regs. But outside that, I'd say once Hamilton moves on, I'm thinking Ocon now, and when Hamilton moves on, promote George, what's his name? George Russell, that's his name, to the other seat. So at the moment, I think it'll be Ocon and Russell in the future, and for now, I think it should be Hamilton and Ocon. Where Bottas will go, I don't exactly know. Maybe, actually, I don't really know at all. He could really go anywhere. So,
I mean, he could go to Ferrari. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you.
I don't think Ferrari want to replace either of their drivers at the moment because Vettel isn't out of contract yet. I think.
Yeah, but well, no, he is out of contract. This is his final year.
Oh, is it?
Then I'm pretty sure it is. If it isn't, he has one more year, but I think he might have an opt-out on the final, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But
he's not signed for 5.
Yeah.
5 or 4. No, it was 4 years. It was a 4-year contract. I forgot when he signed it. I think, though, it was 2016. So, yeah, 2020 would be his final, but I think he has an option to opt out of it if he wants to, which I don't think that he will. But let's go to 2020. Let's say Bottas gets there, and then Sebastian Vettel leaves Ferrari, which I'll be honest with you, if he doesn't really win the World Championship next year, then I don't think Ferrari's going to want to keep him. Charles Leclerc is probably going to be the future. He's going to be that team's first driver, as long as he doesn't mess up, and as long as Ferrari doesn't mess it all up.
Yeah, and they need a driver like a Kimi with him.
Which I think Bottas would be. Because Bottas is a team player.
I don't know why, but I don't think I don't think Ferrari would go with Bottas.
Well, who else would they? Giovinazzi? No.
No. But I don't entirely know who, but I don't think they'll.
I mean, maybe the only reason they put Giovinazzi in the car is he's got an Italian flag next to his name. It would probably be nice to have that. But other than that, literally no reason to put him in the car.
Yeah, definitely. Another driver who I'd like to see in a big team again, actually, is the person who left for Renault at the start of the season, Ricciardo. Where's he going to go? How about we throw Ocon and Bottas quickly under the bus?
He does actually have a year left on that Renault deal.
I know, but how about we throw Ocon and Bottas under the bus and we throw him in the Mercedes? That'll be fun.
Yeah, no, not now. It's going to be Nico and Lewis. Now you're absolutely asking for that to happen.
I'm sorry, I'm a big Ricciardo fan.
Oh, yeah, he's great, but you're going to get that when you put him in that car.
But I kind of wish McLaren went for him instead of Renault. Imagine Ricciardo and Norris in that McLaren.
Yeah, that would be good. But
that would be nice.
But Sainz is also fantastic.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I suppose they already had him at Renault, so maybe Ricciardo should have looked at.
Yeah,
McLaren.
Well, let's go over the team ratings.
I suppose, yeah. Well, actually, we have to talk about one other driver transfer.
Oh, you mean
Pierre Gasly being replaced by Alexander Albon. The only reason he got replaced by Albon and not Kvyat is because Helmut Marko didn't want to seem like he's promoting a driver he previously demoted.
But yeah, I mean, I still think that they might give. I mean, it really depends because they kind of said that this was going to be a trial season still for Albon. That if he really impresses, then they'll keep him.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, then they'll probably do Kvyat, as long as Kvyat doesn't blow up in the second half, which I don't think he would. But yeah, what can you say about Pierre Gasly? A flop. Never really got the car right with himself. Or is he really just not good enough to be in a top car?
I think it was too early. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was too early too. And he's no Charles Leclerc.
Oh God, no. And he's no bloody Lewis Hamilton when he first came in. He's no.
Well, Hamilton didn't even get into a junior team. They put him straight in the McLaren.
Yeah. No Lando.
If I'm not mistaken, Lewis didn't even go into the junior series of formulas. He just went right to Formula 1.
Yeah, I think he went directly from karting to Formula 1. What a weird step.
Yeah. He hasn't even had a Formula car to be even close. But no, we'll just skip it. We'll skip it all.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show just how fantastic he is, though.
Yeah. So, moving on to, well, actually, if we're talking about Hülkenberg, and we're talking about a backup driver, he is German. Him over Bottas? I think he could be more consistent.
I think so too. Yeah, I would put Hülkenberg over Bottas.
Yeah, because technically,
I also don't like. I don't even like Bottas that much. So that's also another thing.
Yeah, he is also German, which is something I do like about him. I like him as a driver, Bottas, but he's a bit too nice for the sport. It seems like a weird issue to have with a driver, but That's really it.
We'll just put him in rallying or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's finish. He'll do that. He'll be a world champion in rallying.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think now we can get on to the teams.
Team ratings.
Now, should we start from the bottom or should we go from the top?
We'll go from Williams up. Williams.
You give a grade, I'll give a grade.
We'll say A, B, C, D, and F, I suppose.
Yeah, we can do the plus and minuses or whatever.
Okay. As a team, F. They're so far off the pace, it's not even funny, it's actually laughable. They're more or less a meme at this point. Driver-wise, I'd rate Kubica a big F, and I'd rate Russell a B+. I'm giving Russell a B+ just because he's way too good for that car. He's after proving what he can do in that car. Even nearly getting out of Q1 in Hungary in that car is impressive.
So, Williams, F+, because I know that's weird, but it's a bad car. Weird. It's an absolutely terrible car. But we are seeing signs of progress. The car is slowly getting better. And I think by the end of the year, as long as they progress it well, it will still be back of the grid always throughout the year. But I think by the end of the year, it could be a car that is back of the grid but competitive to possibly go further up. Because right now they're not that, but we've seen upgrades and things that have improved the car slowly.
But I do believe that
driver ratings.
Next year, though, with Williams, I think it'll be more of the exact same of being at the back of the grid, and they should just put
I don't think so, because they got rid of what's his face.
I think they'll put all of their effort into 2021, and I think that's what they're banking on. This era hasn't been good for them.
Better.
I think
because they did have.
It's better to look at 2021 than look at 2020. If you think about it,
I think it'll be better because you're also forgetting the fact that they got rid of I forget his name, but he was with Mercedes and he got put to Williams. So I forgot his name, but they booted him as technical director. They put Pat Smedley back as an advisement.
Paddy Lowe
role. Paddy Lowe, yeah, Paddy Lowe. Paddy Lowe's gone.
So
anything Paddy Lowe was going to do with, but he didn't do well for the car. So
well, true. I do like him though.
Yeah. Oh, I'm forgetting big time the pit. Oops, talking too much. Well, anyway, yeah. I mean, I think that. They have Pat Smedley now as a advisement. Nice, Russell. So I think it will get a little bit better because this guy is no slouch. He knows a Formula One car.
Yeah.
But I think they'll get slightly better, and I think they might be competitive at the back. They won't be so far off the pace because there's so many fundamentally wrong things with the car. One, it's too overweight. The aerodynamics aren't necessarily terrible. I think the car is just so overweight and the chassis is so crap.
Yeah.
They have the best engine on the grid, and I think they'll probably continue to keep Mercedes. I don't think Mercedes has any interest in not keeping that deal, even with the car being so bad, because it's Williams.
Yeah.
And they have that kind of influence. And I really doubt they would go anywhere else, because I don't really think they want to go back to Renault. Because I don't really see the Renault engine being competitive anytime soon. I feel like generally it's not that they can't improve it, it's just that I don't think they have the mental capacity to improve it. Like, I just feel like the Renault philosophy for that engine is so like bad that they just don't know what to do. But what I'm going way too off here. Let's talk about now. The driver ratings, Kubica is a big F. I mean, complete failure.
Just there for the money.
Total hype. Total hype, as we thought he was.
He's a money driver, that's it.
He's a money driver. I mean, he's not a Sergei Sorokin money driver, that's for sure. But
oh God, no.
it's cool that he's on the grid, but it's still it's a complete
money
waste of time. Yeah, it's a money move. But then again, Williams has been a money move team for the longest time. I mean, Lance Stroll's a money driver. Pastor's a money driver. Sergei Sorokin's a money driver. And Kubica's a money... Oh, actually, Kubica's not really a money driver. He's just getting paid a lot.
No,
I don't think...
He brought in the sponsor, Rocket, I think. That's the reason why he's in the car. It's a Polish...
I can't believe...
It's a Polish coal company or something like that.
No, they're a phone company.
Oh, is it? I couldn't entirely...
They make phones.
Remember. But,
which is, by the way, fantastic. They make a phone called the F1, and it's a flip phone.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
They make all the other phones not called F1s, but the one called an F1 is a flip phone.
Okay, I don't know why I find that so funny, but it's actually brilliant.
It's amazing. It's very representative of just how bad
their team is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Russell, you probably like him a little more than I do, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't follow F2 nearly as much as I do now. So
I followed him a lot in
F2. C. I mean, I know that he did okay, but I still can't. I don't know his true pace in a Formula 1 car yet, just because that car is so crap that I'm just gonna say C because he's definitely good.
If you look at all the races,
I'm sorry, I can't. He has to be in a car that can do something. That car literally can't do anything.
If you compare him to Kubica in qualifying,
okay, but Kubica's literally crap. He's 40. He's like 125 years old. He almost got his arm taken off in a rally accident. I mean, really, I'm not trying to be mean to Kubica, but let's be honest here. Not a great comparison to a guy who probably is way past his prime, and again is there for money and hype. I can't give him anything more than a C. I'm not saying he's a bad driver, but I need him to be in a better car so he can actually prove himself that he is a good driver, because I don't have any proof of that.
That's true. Okay, moving on to Aston, I suppose.
D.
Okay.
We'll switch around. So I'm going to give him a D because Steiner's not wrong when he called when he said it's the weirdest Formula 1 car he's ever seen, because it's the weirdest one I've ever seen in a long time. Great qualifying car. Terrible race car. Tire management is beyond terrible.
Yeah.
It's a no good car, but the drivers as well. They got to get rid of Grosjean. Get rid of him. I like Grosjean, don't be wrong, and he can be good at times, and he's one of my favorite drivers on the grid because he's a really classy guy, and he can be a hard racer, but get rid of him. He's slow. He's past his prime. This isn't the Lotus days anymore.
Way past his prime.
Magnussen is... Okay, let's be honest here. Magnussen probably isn't championship material anyway. He's probably going to crash the car more often than not. They're both really crap. Claire, you got to speed the hell up. What the hell is going on?
Magnussen isn't bad now, to be fair. Like he
isn't bad, but he's too... He's
a good driver for the time being.
He's like a driver if he was playing F1 2019 and keeps his thing in cockpit view and has tunnel vision, because he basically doesn't... his track awareness is terrible.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I think of him. He's a cockpit driver with no awareness of what's around him.
So Fun Magic Mushroom.
I mean, I didn't want to throw shade, but I mean that's up to you now.
Anyway,
we're definitely gonna link this now. Claire, you better go faster. Oh my god,
it's already linked. Look at the description. Anyway, so Haas, for me, it's both the drivers are C minus. They're a bit average. Actually, no, a C minus for Magnus and D for Grosjean. He's way past
D.
D.
Oh yeah, D. Okay.
D for Grosjean, C minus for Magnussen. The car is an F in the race pace. It's a B in qualifying. Moving on.
All right. I mean, it's an overall D.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute. Let's put it as a D- because we didn't even mention the Rich Energy debacle.
We'll save that debate for another time because that's going to take up a few hours.
Okay, but to be fair, let's just sum it up and say there's a minus there because of the lunacy of Rich Energy.
Okay, we'll do a post-season podcast at the very end of the season, and we'll have an entire episode just dedicated to Rich Energy. And we'll leave it at that. Rich Energy and Lance Stroll, I think, will be...
Oh, wait, no. It's Lightning Bolt Limited. Lightning Bolt Limited now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they changed their name. It's Lightning Bolt Limited.
I didn't even know that.
But it's not on the car yet, so just goes to show how much money they have. They can't just print out a few cheap stickers and put it on the car, which would be fine. I mean, the car wouldn't get any better in the race anyway, so why not?
True. Okay.
So, what is the next? Who's next? Renault? No, it's Toro Rosso, I think.
Racing Point.
Oh, yes, Racing Point.
Okay, Money Boy Stroll and Checo Perez. I suppose I'll go first with this one. It's an F for the livery, first of all. I think that's fair enough to say.
Oh, it's ugly. Ruined it. They ruined the car. I mean, I actually quite liked it last year, but the blue was terrible.
2017
Everybody said the blue was going to look good.
2017 was nice, 2018 was getting a bit worse, and 2019 was just down the toilet.
No. 17 was boring, useless, no ingenuity. It was a boring car to look at. 18 finally had some... But, okay, see, now that's an opinion base, because I actually like the pink. I like the pink. I think it looks pretty good on an F1 car, and they actually tried to do something with the car.
Yeah, okay.
On 18, 17 was just pink. It was literally just a McLaren from 18, with some bubbles on it. Big whoop. The 18 car actually tried. The 19 car tried too, but they put blue on it, and everybody said the blue was going to look good. They were all wrong. The blue looks bad. It's a bad livery. So, yeah, F livery. Anyway, you can move on now.
I'll talk about the car in a second because I want to give Stroll an F minus. Big boy Stroll.
No, Z.
Well, technically, if you consider S is technically top of the top, and we go down to Z, we don't exactly know what that's going to mean. So we'll say F.
Let's just not give him a letter.
F.
He's so bad we can't rate him.
F double minus.
Oh, but he's got great race pace. Stop.
Okay.
Stop with the race pace. Monogamy.
F infinite. This podcast, as an example, was originally going to be called Strolling Around.
Really?
Yeah. There.
Oh boy. No, literally. I mean, first off, the worst qualifier I've ever seen. It's like terrible.
How many races straight was it? Was it like?
It was bad.
14? 15?
Yeah, it was bad. And then he's like, oh, but he's got great race pace and he had that podium in Azerbaijan. Stop. First off, the Azerbaijan race was like bananas, so it was the equivalent of Kvyat getting the podium in Germany.
Yeah. Or Henry.
And you say, oh, but he does the great overtakes. He's a great driver.
Stroll podium in Baku.
No, he's not. No, because, yeah, he can overtake a bunch of drivers to get up to 15th, so he didn't score any points anyway, so it's completely pointless that he's a good driver because he can't qualify for the life of himself.
He's there because of his dad's money, simple as. If he wasn't there...
No, now he's there because his dad owns the bloody team.
Well, to be fair now, he was also in Williams because they were getting his dad's money.
Oh, no, the Williams was because of money. Now it's because his dad owns the team.
Well, yeah.
And it's going to be just as bad as when Marcus Ericsson was at Sauber, and the only reason that was there was because there was a pretty boy to have a same driver as, like, near where they lived as a country for the team.
Yeah.
But it was not because of, like, ability, because Marcus Ericsson is literally one of the most disgusting F1 drivers I've ever seen. But anyway, yeah, no, big fat F. Get rid of him, please. Somebody buy the team. Get rid of him. Put him somewhere else where he can probably still stink.
Anyway, give the team back to the bloody Indian. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care.
He can run it from jail.
Yeah. Or I think he's in jail anyway at the moment.
Either that or he's about to be in jail.
Yeah, one of the two. Checo Perez, a tiny bit past his prime, but still kind of good, so C+.
Yeah, I mean, we can't really give him too much because he hasn't had any outstanding performances.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Stroll is the only one of a good performance because of bloody rain. Now everybody's saying, oh, but he got the 4th place in Germany, so he's a really good driver. You know, rain, Germany, crashes, safety cars, good strategy. Please stop. Go away.
And anybody who argues the Baku podium, that race was a straight carnage to begin with.
Exactly. So, stop, people.
No argument.
Stop giving this man...
He wouldn't be on the podium if Lewis Hamilton actually finished that race if his headrest didn't come loose, so look at it that way.
Exactly.
I think that was that race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the headrest.
The car is a D. Overall, it isn't great, but it gets the job done, I suppose. It just fills the spot. It's just one of those boring cars that's just there because we need it. Just to fill a spot on the grid.
It's just there. Yeah, so...
It's like
what is next?
It isn't a Marussia back in the day. It was a Caterham.
No, the Marussia looked great first.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The 2016 Marussia was a fantastic looking car. Slow, but good looking.
What I mean is that they're just there because they're there. They're not there to win. They're there to just sit there and just be looked at because we need 20 drivers on the grid. Moving on to it's actually Alpha next, would you believe?
Oh, right.
Yes. Kimi Räikkönen should not have been dropped from Ferrari. It should have been Vettel, as evidence of previous events. I'm sorry, nobody can actually change my mind on that. I do believe that.
All right. Well, okay. I mean, you can keep having your 40-year-old F1 drivers at the top of the grid because they're going to last another year and die.
I'm sorry.
Listen, I'm going to take another sport mentality into this. You don't know anything about it, but this is exactly how I felt. Like, in America, we have baseball, and my favorite team is the Yankees. The Yankees were full of old people, and this was the mentality for a while. Let's just sign a bunch of old people who used to be good, and then we'll have a good team. No. They get old, they don't know how to play, and they get old, and they get soft. They don't have the same reaction speed, and that's what Kimi was getting. Oh, but he wanted the U.S. Grand Prix. One race. It took how long to win one race? Hundreds.
Since his first race.
Hundreds.
Since his first.
How many races?
His last race was
since 2011.
2011 Australia in the Lotus.
Exactly. So, literally hundreds of races.
I think that was
to win.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was his first win with Ferrari.
No, because he won the championship with Ferrari.
Oh yeah. Oh no. So no, it wouldn't have been.
You're completely forgetting about the championship.
Yeah, like no.
Which proves my point. Why are we keeping him on the team? You can't even remember that he won with Ferrari in the first place. Get rid of him.
No,
irrelevant, old, doesn't have reaction time.
No, since he came back to Ferrari.
Oh yeah, we're switching it up now. Now you're switching up. You didn't say that before. You're trying to save your own self.
His last win was with Lotus, which is technically correct. Well, since
you didn't even remember that he won with Ferrari.
But that was before Lotus. That was before Lotus, so leave me alone. That was before Lotus, so leave me alone. I began watching 2009 with it's 2007 with Hamilton. I think it was 7 or 8. One of the two.
I'm pretty sure he won in 7 too.
Yeah, 1 or 2. Anyway,
look that up. No, it was 7. He won the championship in 7. I know that. 2007. Which means you have no excuse.
Okay, fair enough. Giovinazzi is a big F. The only reason he'll ever get a Ferrari drive, as we mentioned earlier in this podcast, is because he's Italian, and he's already after crashing a Sauber more times than I've seen
He crashed the Sauber twice in the same exact place in China. The exit of the final corner, he crashed it and spun it in the same exact manner twice.
Yes. Raikkonen still gets a C.
Yeah.
Giovinazzi...
Mostly for those radio messages.
Giovinazzi gets a D minus.
The car?
C.
No.
C minus.
No, because this car should have been at the... This was supposed to be a front of the midfield car. I'm going to give it a D simply for the disappointment that this was... As we're going to get further up the grid, when we get to Ferrari, you'll see the same way that I rate them. This gets a D simply for being a disappointment as well, because this car was supposed to be a front of the midfield team estimated by the experts.
Okay, now we're moving on to Renault. And I don't think anybody can argue with me in saying this, that Daniel Ricciardo and Nico Hülkenberg are the two best drivers on the grid. End of story. Thank you, moving on. And Renault's definitely an A.
You literally just said earlier in the podcast, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton were the best drivers on the grid.
Well, yeah, I know, but I have a thing for Ricciardo, and I also kind of like Hülkenberg, so, that's his personal preference. Okay, so... Right. Okay, moving on a tiny bit then, I suppose. The car is a big fat D. Not what anybody was expecting. It's crap compared to previous Renaults. Hülkenberg is a solid C+. Ricciardo's an A+, like A double plus. I'm sorry, this guy's absolutely insane. He's the best driver to ever have lived. He's better than Michael Schumacher. Put him in the Mercedes now. I take back that Schumacher comment before I get in trouble now. I have a thing for Ricciardo. I am sorry. Okay, Ricciardo. B+.
What?
Ricciardo's
what?
As a driver.
Yeah, but we're talking about what he did this season, not him as a driver.
Okay, fine. Him as a season, C. There's not much you can do with that car.
Well, apart from his terrible Australia, which is his fault.
Well,
yes, it is.
Australians are always bad at Australia, to be fair.
That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. He ran over a piece of grass and exploded his front wing.
It can be if I wanted to be an excuse. Anyway,
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah. Ricciardo's a D.
No.
Terrible season. Terrible season. This has been
shit car.
And not only that, but making the stupid decision to move the Renault in the first place, which is already a downgrade. Why did he go there? Why? Oh no, but the Honda engine's not proven yet. Stop, please. What? Terrible decision to move the Renault.
I think it's because they're focusing on 2021 very, very much so, and I think they could actually be a championship contender in 2021. I think that's what he's hoping for.
But that's not. But his contract runs till 2020 because they told him, "Oh yeah, in 2 years we'll give you a championship car." That's literally what they told him. They said 2020 you're going to win the championship. They didn't say 2021. His contract doesn't go till 2021. It's over at that point.
Oh yeah. Never mind. I take everything I said back.
Fail. Fail.
Hulkenberg's a C minus. Ricciardo's a C. Flat. De Renault's a D. Moving on.
Okay, so Hulkenberg's a C. Ricciardo's a D. You're just biased. You're super biased. Hulkenberg's been a better driver this season than Ricciardo. Not qualifying wise, but race wise, yes. Anyway, let's move on because I feel we're going to be on this too long.
Toro Rosso.
Alright. Now, you probably disagree with me on here. A, because it's the best looking car on the grid.
No.
Yeah, I knew you don't like blue, do you?
The McLaren's the nicest car on the grid. End of story. No questions about it.
Close, but it's really hard to mess up at perfection. But I think we all have a bit of rose-tinted glasses right now because it's an orange McLaren.
It's the second nicest car on the grid. It's the second nicest car on the grid.
And the thing is that the only reason we're giving it number 1 is not only because of the orange, but because they didn't just paint it orange like 18, and they actually tried to do something with the livery. So it actually required a little bit of art skills.
Well, no,
not doing like a
18 wasn't fully orange. Actually, they had the blue rear wing and the blue front wing.
Yeah, but it's the same way this year. It was the accent color.
Well, yeah,
they weren't just gonna make. If they made just a blank orange McLaren, I would not have considered it to be a good-looking car. That would have looked bad.
Sure. The 2017 one was nice as well,
They needed an accent color, and I like that they did blue because blue's actually a retro color for McLaren.
Yeah.
As well, which people seem to forget. Anyway, yeah. So okay. Anyway, we moved on. Anyway, Toro Rosso. Okay,
C,
how about this?
It's a C in general.
It's a C. Albon is a B.
A B.
Well,
C+.
I don't think he's been C plus.
C plus.
No. A B.
No.
How about the B minus? We'll give him a B minus because it has been a good.
Tell me why he deserves a B.
Well, I moved it to a B minus.
C plus. You're not changing my mind. Kvyat has passed his prime. Screw him. You get a D. Well, C.
What?
C.
I would say he's better than Albon has been.
I think they both get a C.
Better qualifyings and better races.
True, actually. Okay, Kvyat gets a C plus. Albon gets a C minus.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Who's next? Is it actually
McLaren?
Renault, isn't it?
McLaren.
Oh no, we already went to Renault. McLaren, yeah.
The best of the rest by an absolute mile. They the best livery on the grid. A double plus. Carlos Sainz is the car in general. If you compare it to 2017, 2018, A.
Well, hold on. Throw 17 out there. We're not talking about 17. That's a terrible comparison, if anything. Let's compare it to 2018 because first off, the 17 aerodynamics are fundamentally a lot different because they had the T-wing and everything back then.
And the shark fin.
And the shark fin.
Yeah.
Which I kind of miss them, to be honest.
No.
Oh come on! The Ferrari looked so class.
The wing was too big.
The Ferrari looked so good.
The fin was too big.
No, it looked so good. I liked it. I kind of missed them. If they add classic cars at some point when we get to 17, I want a 17 Ferrari back in there because it looked so good.
Okay.
Anyway.
McLaren's an A.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to be a little... I'm only going to say an A minus. I'm going to say an A minus because they've had a few times where it's either Norris or Sainz have switched places, and one of them has been far off the pace from the other. They still scored a point, but they were far off from what the other driver was in, like being in the top like 5 or 6. So I'm just going to say A minus only because the cars have sometimes been distant in their own pace.
Yeah.
But in terms of drivers, I mean, I almost think Sainz has done a better job this year.
I think Lando gets a B minus and Sainz gets a B.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, true. Because they're still great. They're still doing great. But I think, in general, if we're just talking about statistics-wise, Sainz has had a better season. But that's expected with a driver who's...
They're the best pairing on the grid.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that, yeah. Except Bottas and Hamilton.
Well, yeah, but Bottas is a bit slow.
Well, that's what makes it a good pairing.
Well, yeah.
for Hamilton.
But as a more interesting team of cars on equal pace, we'll say Norris and Sainz.
Yes.
Verstappen and Gasly.
So overall, though, it's a successful year for McLaren.
Yeah. Okay.
So next is Red
Bull. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say, is that Red Bull just need to change up their goddamn livery already before I top myself next season.
Please. It's getting Martini Williams-esque bad. Because that livery was great, but they had it for way too many years and they didn't change it at all. Please change the livery. I don't even care if they go back to the glossy car that they had before with the purplish bits and whatever.
Oh God.
Or even you know what I wish they would do? I wish they'd go back to the retro can looking car when it actually used to look like the Red Bull can.
No, you know what they need is that they need.
Come on.
They need one of their one-off launch liveries as a full season thing. No,
I'll be honest if you get I'll be honest with you.
The origami one at the beginning of this season. Tell me that wouldn't look nice on that car right now.
The one before that year looked better.
Was that the white one? The white and black thing?
No, the blue and white one. The digitalized one.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't really like busy liveries, and that livery was a little too busy. I mean, it still looked good, and they had some really cool like 3D effects almost with the logos and everything, but it was still way too busy for me.
Yeah, like
the livery before that was simple. It was awesome. I think it fit both Red Bull and Aston Martin. Yeah, and I think it would fit Honda as well a little bit, but the 2016 one is terrible in my opinion because of how busy it is. That like white and black Hama one, that one's bad. I know people like it. I don't like it. Oh my God, I almost died.
Actually, speaking of white and Red Bull, would it be interesting for you to see you know how Honda is from Japan?
Oh, you want like a red and white car?
Yeah.
That would look cool. Yeah, or like not even that, but like add like a Japanese flag sort of style to it. But I don't think they're gonna do that.
I was thinking a red sun with a white bull.
I saw it that once, but it was like a concept delivery somebody made. I forgot who did it.
I can't remember who done it either, but it's actually a nice idea though.
I think it was Tim Holmes.
Was it?
Yeah. It's either Tim Holmes or who's the other guy?
I think
it's Bull something.
Yeah, like I don't think they'll do it just because the team's name is Red Bull and they don't want to change their logo.
I don't think though.
But I think the blackish blue, the red, and the yellow is getting a bit stale now.
If they did it, but what if they instead of going back to what they used to do with the livery, what if they just did the same livery but made it a glossy finish?
No, how about they have the exact same livery, but they change the blue to white?
No. No. I would not want that Red Bull, that same looking yellow and Red Bull on a white and red car. That would look bad. That's like when they did when Lotus did the JPS, not really looking JPS thing, but then freaking sodding PDVSA had the red coloring all over it and ruined it. That's like when that would happen. That's literally the same thing. I do not want that.
Okay, just change the color scheme a tiny bit. Just make it a bit nicer. The matte.
Just do a Red Bull. Just do the Red Bull. That's fine. Just like a Red Bull. No shading of the yellow.
Yeah. Ferrari.
The problem is, though, I feel like there's going to be one... before we
go
on there with the Red Bull.
Actually,
I feel like there's going to be one sponsor that's going to pay money to have their color sponsor be the same color as real life, like Tag Heuer or something like that, and ruin the livery as well. Kind of like with the Renault, because they have Castrol, and Castrol pays money to have their livery, their color for their logo the same color as their actual design, and it ruins the rest of the livery because it's not the same as the other ones, and I hate it.
Yeah. Okay. So talking on the Red Bull pairing, the drivers, Verstappen's an A+.
A+.
Actually, no, S. We'll say S.
S, like, S.
S class.
God tier.
Yeah, like God tier. Championship contender level. Gasly's a big F.
Yeah, that was bad.
Sent him to WEC already, Jesus. We don't want him.
Oh, wow. Put him in WEC? Though they're about to change their regulations too now.
I know.
That's going to be interesting. I'm actually excited for that. But yeah.
But WEC is where we send all of the B tier F1 drivers. Or IndyCar.
Oh, come on. You're going to tell me Fernando Alonso's a B tier driver?
Oh, no. But like, he only went there for the Indy 500. That's the only thing he's interested in.
You mean, I'm still talking about WEC.
Oh, well, I'm talking about IndyCar and WEC. They're kind of in the same boat. They just take the B-Tech F1 drivers.
No. As a American myself,
F1 reject,
I know the value of IndyCar. IndyCar is not at the same value as the WEC championship. Not even close. Like, especially their YouTube following is like dead. Yeah, no, IndyCar's not nearly as big because they have the Indy 500, but that's it. Because all the other races just don't have the same kind of publicity.
Yeah, the only reason
WEC just has more.
Yeah, the Indy 500 is huge because it's one of the Triple Crown events.
Like yeah, but that triple, well, I don't think that's true because the Triple Crown isn't really brought up a lot, and the only reason they even started bringing it up was because of Fernando again. Because there's not been many people who actually care enough to attempt the Triple Crown.
Yeah, but it's not big enough of a thing again to get more people into it.
Indy has always been big, and you have some of the biggest car manufacturers and just general car people in the world there. McLaren used to be there.
Dave, after confirming that they're back for 2020,
a full season, yeah. And even though it's not really big in Europe, Penske is one of the largest motorsport names in the world.
Yeah.
And they own most. I mean, again, they also have big Chevrolet, Honda.
Haas is as well, if I'm not mistaken, as well. The actual name Haas is.
No, they're a NASCAR.
Well, yeah, and in that I mean,
because in NASCAR it's Stewart Haas because Tony Stewart is part of that Haas grouping.
Yeah,
but they're not in IndyCar. They have no IndyCar ties.
Yeah, the car itself is a B. It's an improvement. It's an improvement, but it isn't as good as the Merc.
I think it's a B. Mostly because of reliability has been fixed substantially.
Yeah. Ferrari.
F.
Delivery, first of all, is kind of shit.
What? No. That's a big wrong. You're wrong. You're just wrong. I wanted a black and what? What? It's not exactly the same.
It's exactly the same, but it's not. It doesn't appeal to me.
But it's enough that it's great. I've wanted a black and red Ferrari for the longest time. The 90s Ferraris, the early 90s with the black wings are the best looking Ferraris. They're not the Marlboro ones. Stop. The Marlboro cars are the best. Stop. No, they're not. The early 90s Ferraris, especially like the last V12 Ferrari, looks amazing. And I've wanted them to have a substantial amount of black on the car for the longest time, and they finally did it. I'm also biased because I'm contracted with them, but that's besides the point. But no, the car looks great. The car looks awesome.
I like how you're contracted with them, and you still gave him an F. So that's entirely unbiased.
Well, I'm not talking about the livery.
Yeah.
The livery looks great. I don't. Now the only thing that's not good about it is forever.
At least they got rid of
UPS.
At least they got
rid of UPS.
And Shell.
No, I know what you're gonna say. You don't like the Mission Winnow sponsor. I like the Mission Winnow sponsor. Stop. I know you were gonna say that. So I'm just gonna I'm not even gonna let you finish. The Mission Winnow looks nice.
The car looks nicer now with the 90 years over the Mission Winnow.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't fill out the car as nice as the Mission Winnow did. The Mission Winnow design had more coverage on the car than the 90 years does.
Then
the 90 years does. So
then just remove the 90 years and just keep it the exact same.
That car looks terrible.
For the update. That's fine.
No. That car, just the blank one looks terrible. When they had it on the game and it was just blank, I was like, God, this looks terrible. They took what was great with the matte red, which is awesome, and the black, and they made it bad somehow. No. The Mission Winnow looks great. No, it's not.
It is.
You're going to tell me glossy red looked better than matte red?
Oh, I'm not going to say that whatsoever. I just always thought the Ferrari looked bad. Except for like the 90s.
Oh, you just don't
except for the 90s and early 2000s. After that, just died.
What?
So anyway, going to drivers, Vettel's a C minus.
Also, let's get back to 2016. That livery looked great. What a great retro car to have the white engine cover. Forget the fact that the car was crap.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's nice.
But anyway,
we can agree on that. Their wheel is also very nice.
Oh yeah, the wheels also. The Ferrari wheels are the best.
I do like the Red Bull wheel now as well, to be fair, but the Ferrari wheel is nice.
Yeah, maybe that's just because it looks super complex or whatever, but it also looks very classic, like a classic F1 wheel.
Yeah.
Not freaking sodding Williams, which is just a screen detached from the wheel. Anyway, like which driver said, yeah, I want my screen detached from the wheel? No one. That had to be a Williams decision.
No, it was a Kubica decision.
No, because that's been going on for a while. That's been with like that. That's been going on since Massa.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh well, still, that's been going on since Massa.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's just because they don't know how to do it with the wheel, like just attached to the car. Like it's got to be a fundamental no understanding of how other teams do it. So it's like, oh yeah, we'll just attach the screen right to the car.
Yeah, let's go for the classic look of having the speedometer behind the wheel.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're a retro team. We're retro. Not only is our steering wheel retro, but we're retro in that our car is just as slow as our old cars.
And their team boss is kind of shit. It hasn't been the same since her dad.
I mean, I don't think that we can. I just want to say though,
she's
I don't
only there
blame
because of her name.
No,
she is.
No, she's not that bad. You can't fault a team principal for having bad technical direction. Unless you're Ferrari with Matteo Binotto. As we're about to get to, I thought, I'm going to say this, I thought the biggest problem facing Ferrari at the time was Maurizio, because Maurizio was not a car guy. Maurizio was a sponsorship guy. He was going to bring in a lot of revenue, but he probably didn't know how to tell you what a front wing was if you asked him. So, and I'm not saying Maurizio was terrible, because there were some legitimate title challenges in 17 and 18 that he brought, and really it was a collapse of the technical side of the team, which ultimately was, I mean, so 18 was probably more Sebastian Vettel's terrible run of spells in 18, but 17 and even 18 at times was a technical failure at times. The car just somehow in the later part of the year just became really bad with some updates. And Maurizio is part of that, because Maurizio doesn't understand an F1 car. He understands how to put a nice sponsor on it.
Yeah.
Those are good, and I think Ferrari was fine of having that, but I think you needed a Matteo Binotto, because Ferrari would not be where they are without Binotto's engine development. He brought that team back to relevancy. It was not Maurizio Rivabene's part in bringing that team back. Maurizio gave them as much money as they needed, but they did not cause that team to be good. That was only because of Matteo, because Matteo made that engine good.
Yeah.
But when I heard that Matteo was going to be both team principal and technical director, I was like, what do you mean? You can't have him do both things. You just can't. You can't do that. And I already knew something was up. I mean, I knew it was a better choice to have him as team principal because, yeah, maybe he's not going to get you the same sort of sponsors. But here's what I think about that whole idea that Ferrari has. Like, oh, well, Matteo's going to get us the money. You're Ferrari. People are going to want to sponsor you anyway.
Look at the big
You don't have to
logo.
try too hard. You could literally, like, you could ask, yeah, we have a sponsor, and then 1 million people would try to be your sponsor. You don't need a sponsorship team principal. You just need to be Ferrari, and you'll get the sponsorships. They didn't get Shell, UPS, Hublot, Kaspersky. They didn't get those people because of... Actually, no. To be fair, he did get Kaspersky. That was a... I believe that was a Maurizio thing. But, yeah, Ray-Bans, you know, they got these because they're Ferrari. Not because of Maurizio. That's what I never understood. Is like, why do you need a guy to get you sponsors if you have a team that is going to get sponsors anyway because they're the most successful Formula One team ever? Why would you not want to sponsor Ferrari?
Is it just weird that some of the sponsors look shit on it?
No, I mean...
Look at where they put the Shell logo. Look at where they put the Ray-Ban logo. Look at that stupid UPS logo.
The UPS logo has been a burden on that car since the UPS has been on that car. So that's a problem. No, I mean, I think...
Move the Shell logo to the side pod, maybe. There's a nice spot there.
Isn't it on the side pod, though?
No, it's on directly on the side. Looks shit. There's like 3 sponsors in a row. They're just way too big. Move the Ray-Ban maybe up onto the wing behind the 90 years thing. Oh no, that's what the number is. Never mind.
Hold on, I'm about to look on this car.
The Ray-Ban is fine where it is. The Shell logo can move directly onto like the actual side pod plate.
Now. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's bad.
The actual side pod plate. The UPS logo can go F off somewhere. I don't. And the Ray-Ban would be fine because the Ray-Ban isn't that big. The team name should be Ray-Ban Ferrari. Ray-Ban's the best sponsor on that team.
Oh yeah, we should have a title sponsor, Ray-Ban Ferrari. Please, no. That's like having Tommy Hilfiger be the title sponsor for Mercedes.
I wouldn't mind that.
Tommy Hilfiger Mercedes. No, 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 no. I want real technical sponsors, not a clothing brand or a glasses brand. Oh my gosh.
Okay, fair enough. To be fair now, I am a very big fan of Tommy Hilfiger. So.
Yeah, I mean I am too, but I mean I have when the Mercedes signed Tommy Hilfiger and I saw the that Schaff out. No, it was the puffy jacket.
How much would
I immediately bought that jacket.
How much would I have to pay Ferrari to change the helmet design on the the glass part? Well, like the plastic part that tried to see through. I can't remember the exact name of it.
What, you don't like that little banner on the top of it?
No, that's fine. I'm wondering, is it possible to change it to a pair of Ray-Ban glasses?
Yeah, first we have the Mercedes gloves with the literal watches on it, but now we're gonna have that. No, thank you.
Those watches don't look bad, to be fair. They're not awful.
No, they're not that bad. Anyway,
yeah, we're getting deviation anyway.
Yes. Let's move on. So anyway,
the team as a whole is a D- just because of how much of a flop it was.
No, it's an F. It's an F.
Okay, fair enough. F.
It's an absolute F.
Yeah, sure.
Because the team should be front. This team should be a front row. 17 was a resurgence year, and I didn't expect them to win the title. 18, they should have won the title. But I'll give them that still. I believe 19 was going to be the year because of Matteo Binotto. I really thought because they're going to have a real F1 understanding team principle that they might do better. But this team should only have a first place finish. This should have been a car that only accepted the best, not accepted third, fourth, fifth, shoddy podiums. This car should not be getting shoddy podiums. This car should have been at the top. This is a disgrace for Ferrari, in my opinion.
Marcus is too strong, though.
Well, but Merc didn't... But no, because... No.
They are.
That's not an excuse. But that's not an excuse for saying that Ferrari... Because Ferrari should have developed the car to the point. They had everything. They had you know, despite if you think Mission 1 looks ugly, Philip Morris is probably pumping in at least $10 million into that program, if not more. Huge amounts of money from Philip Morris. Huge amounts of technicality ideas from Matteo, a team principal who understands the car more than Maurizio because he actually works on the car. This was the year it should have been all... I don't want to say that because they said in the show from McLaren, this is the year it was all supposed to come together. But it actually was. This is... I am disgraced as a
Mercedes...
as an F1 fan... As an F1 fan who likes Ferrari by default, because I know some people don't believe that, but I feel like, as Sebastian Vettel well put it, maybe you're a Merc fan or you're a Haas fan or whatever, but you're deep down you're a Ferrari fan because you like to see Ferrari on the top. I don't know why I said Haas. Anyway, or a Red Bull fan or a Mercedes fan. Actually, my dad's a Haas fan, but that's because he's American, so he likes having an American team. So, my dad, when my dad like the Haas crashes, he just puts his head down and sighs because he's like, oh man, guys, like he actually gets visibly annoyed because he really wants them to do well.
Can I just point out something in this race really quick? I know it's going to be slightly off topic. Robert Kubica is 1 minute away from the nearest driver.
Oh boy.
I'm going to watch Kubica for a bit. I'm bored of Leclerc's Ferrari.
Anyway, but no, this is a failure of a season. It's a complete failure of what the Ferrari should have been. It's actually sickening to me that this is where they are.
Yeah.
So, it's an F season. I'm not saying the drivers are an F, but the car's an F, and the whole team is an F at this point because the team just doesn't. It doesn't seem like they're working, because they said in the beginning of the season, oh yeah, now that Matteo's there, the team's going to really work well. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing a team that doesn't know what they're doing and doesn't know how to get better.
Maybe Matteo isn't qualified enough to be a team principal yet.
I don't think that's not... I think that's not true because, I mean, he has a lot of time in that Ferrari team. I think he can do it. I think it was a mistake to have him as both technical director and team principal.
Yeah.
Because team principals aren't supposed to tell you how the car is supposed to be made. They're supposed to work out the entire team, but that's why you have technical directors and aerodynamic directors and engine development directors. That's why you have those people to do those parts of the car. So the team principal isn't doing all that because I think it was too much put on Bernardo.
Yeah, back in a second.
Evening.
Where's my key?
Yeah.
I gave it to you for a reason, so bring it with you. Well, I'm back. Sorry about
No problem.
that. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just end it like that, and I'll give my driver ratings real quick. Charles Leclerc's
B.
To me been an A. I'll say A- because
B plus.
Quite frankly,
B plus.
Okay,
I agree with you.
How about B plus? He's been better than I think he's been better than Sebastian by a long shot. Not even getting pole positions, but actually getting possible race wins, which Vettel had. I mean, actually, to be fair, Vettel. I still think Vettel should have won Canada. I don't think that penalty was just. I mean, it was a borderline call. I don't think it was as one way as people think it was, but it was still...
I think Hamilton could have caught him though. That's the time.
Yeah. Anyway, B plus for Leclerc. Sebastian's
C minus. C minus
because
C minus B plus.
I wouldn't put him anywhere near a B. He's not driving the same as he did before Germany.
D.
Oh, D plus? Yeah, D plus. Yeah, no, because, I mean, it's just he looks different. He's not the same driver as he was in 18. It's just it's actually sad to watch at times. That Bahrain spin was abysmal. Like, the fact that it even happened to a quad world champion is just insane.
Okay. And moving on to...
I'm about to lose this car.
And I suppose moving on to the last team on the grid, Mercedes. A B for delivery. It's an improvement on last year. And it has
I think it's an A.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
That stripe, that PETRONAS stripe, like almost neon stripe, is amazing.
Yeah.
And they finally made it silver, not this gray, like baloney and then a bunch of black on it. It's an actual silver arrow, and they destroyed a lot of the black that was on it. And I love the little stars. It looks great. It's about as Mercedes as you could possibly get, and that's fine. And I'll be honest with you, I think the thing about Mercedes is, I think at this point they're in the same territory with Ferrari, where if it's not silver, then it's not a Mercedes livery, because they're the silver arrows. And I wouldn't, like, the only thing I would accept ever would be just a totally black Mercedes with, like, white sponsors and, like, but maybe the PETRONAS being a little different in how they did it, like almost having like a monster sort of look. But overall, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted the Mercedes to be, so I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah. Hamilton's an S. Yeah. Best driver on the grid by quite a long...
Well, except for Verstappen.
I still think he's a fair bit better than Verstappen still.
Maybe in race... No, well, not even racecraft. Maybe just... I think it's more qualifying than anything.
Just raw pace.
I think the racecraft is...
I can see Mercedes and Hamilton winning the last two championships in the turbo hybrid era.
Well, the turbo hybrid era is still going to be around in 2021.
Well, like, I mean, of this area until the next big change, which will be in 2021.
Yeah.
I think they'll win the last two.
I kind of hope they don't, because it's getting a little boring.
Fair enough, but I think they will. I just think they're too strong.
I mean, Hamilton, can't really fault. I mean, I know Germany was bad, but you can't fault him too much on that. And I can't really fault Mercedes too much on Germany at all. I mean, it was such a crazy race. Under normal race circumstances, Mercedes would not combust that badly.
Yeah.
It was a weird race. I mean, the team... we kind of skipped the team. The livery's an A, in my opinion, but...
Team's an S.
The team's an S, yeah. I mean...
Hamilton's an S.
Masterclass strategies...
Yeah,
masterclass everything, because the strategy's been great this year. The team's been great. They run so smoothly.
Yeah,
it's just a great operation, and it looks like and the ownership and the team principals and people who run it, they all know what they're doing, and they all know what succeeds and what doesn't. And all these other teams are trying out new stuff and figuring out if it works or not, because they really want to beat them.
Yeah, if you just look at look at the people who they actually have on the pit wall and tell me that none of them are world class. They're world class in their own regards.
They're all world class.
James Allison.
And for Bottas, James Allison, even though he got fired from
Ferrari. Andrei Chauvin. What a bad idea.
Was it James Allison?
No, it was. What a bad idea.
Yeah.
It was, and what a bad idea it was. Holy God.
Yeah.
And Bottas is a B minus.
I wouldn't say. I think he's an A. Exactly what he's exactly what Mercedes has wanted this year. A driver who
pace wise, I suppose, a B minus. But like what they want wise, he's an A. Yes.
Because he's qualified well. He's actually won. He won the first race of the season. Nobody expected that. He's everything Mercedes needed, and we're rating drivers not only on their performances in general, but also just as drivers in general, like drivers for the team.
Yeah.
And he's an A. I think in terms
personality
of personality
wise, actual drivers he's a B minus. Like, he isn't going to win a championship, but he isn't shit either.
Exactly.
Like, he isn't a Gasly. And yeah, honestly, that sums up Merc, which are absolute gods, I suppose. I think that's the fair way of putting it. They're kind of incredible. And the race is just after ending. That's 70 laps of the Hungaroring.
Which I was supposed to retire on the first lap. Thank God I didn't, because you didn't finish.
Yeah. Well, I could have continued on, but I had front wing damage and just really didn't want to. But yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Oh my God, Gasly's on the podium. Get me past the screen. Jesus. That's unrealistic as hell.
We're done.
So,
and I was actually competing for a victory there until I tangled with my teammate.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
I have a very big question. When can we have Albon? When can we have Albon in the Red Bull in the Game Code Masters?
Oh, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I know, but like,
because Codemasters pretty much they know what they're going to update during that year. Like they knew they had to do the livery updates, but like they're not going to do anything after that.
Yeah.
Like if they change it to Lightning Volt for Haas, they're not going to change it. They're just going to keep the rich energy unless they're absolutely asked to do so.
They should be asked.
But Codemasters is one of those developers, I think, that they really only do what they absolutely need to.
Oh, please, just change it.
Wait a minute, look at this.
Wow.
Everybody's plus 1 lap.
Yeah, I know.
My God.
How many laps commits it down? 4?
2.
Oh, 2. Oh, Noah, God damn it, those amount of penalties. Like, what are you doing, Noah? Jesus, Noah.
I kept cutting corners and extending tracks.
Oh, Noah.
I mean, I was going to finish 15th anyway.
Not true.
And Russell finished 2 laps as well. So, anyway, yeah, I think that settles it all.
Yeah. Anyway, perfect timing, really. It's the first time we've actually gotten to the end of a race in a podcast, but fair enough. 97 minutes.
That's true. We had a lot to talk about, too, though.
97 minutes. So anyway, until next time, I've been Alex O'Sullivan, also known as Sully. This is hosting the F1 Lights Out podcast. Will most likely be back the Thursday after the Belgian Grand Prix, I want to say.
Yes.
I
was going to do my outro, but...
And I think I can hand over to Noah to do the outro.
Yes, my name was WSRX, or Noah Clark. Make sure to go down to the description, check out my league, Worldwide Sim Racing. You can actually check out... probably don't check out Sully, because he crashed in the second race, and it was kind of abysmal after that.
Watch? Yeah.
You can watch Monaco. He commentated Monaco. Great job. And yeah, check that out. Great league. I want it to be successful, and I think it will be successful, and I can't wait for you guys to check it out. I think you're going to really enjoy it. My name is WSRX.
And we are signing off.